When's the best time to buy stocks in a bear market? Everybody has an opinion. I'm going to give you mine. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with my opinion. And there'll probably be some people that will hear this and get all riled up and get fired up over it. But I'm going to give you my opinion of what works for me. I've been investing for over 20 years, and I truly believe this is the best approach. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can dollar cost average. One of those ways is called periodic dollar cost averaging. Periodic just means every time you get paid, like you get a paycheck, you're going to put money into whatever. It might be an S&P 500 fund. And one way to really make that simple is you can just set it up automatic. You can make an automatic payment. You can just set it and forget it. You don't even have to look. You don't have to worry about the market. You can, every paycheck, have $200, $500, whatever you want to put in to, say, the S&P 500. That's one way you can do a periodic dollar cost average. Now, the other way to do it is quite a bit more strategic, and that's if you're using the portfolio plans like I teach, the blueprints, where you have ETFs, you have dividend stocks, you have growth stocks, you have spec, you have cash, and you're trying to buy the best prices you can and try to accumulate when you're dollar cost averaging into, say, growth stocks, individual stocks. And so what you might do is you might buy, in this kind of a market, you might have to buy 5 or 10 different lots. Say you want $10,000 in a stock, you might have to buy 10 lots of $1,000. Now, some of you might have, a situation where you don't get free commissions. You say, well, that doesn't make any sense for me. It doesn't work. Well, you have to consider that everybody's going to be different. Most people in the US, if they're using a major broker, there are no commissions anymore. So what I do is I use technical analysis to buy at levels. And you're using pivot points. You're using your best judgment of where you think a stock might go. And so a lot of the growth stocks that I've been buying, like let's just use Snowflake as one of the examples. There's a list of 5 or 6 stocks that I've been highly focused on in Discord, and I've been buying at levels. But let's use Snowflake as an example. I've accumulated quite a few shares. I've been very patient, been trying to buy it. For the longest time, we were waiting for it to go under $200, and then it just went lower, lower, lower. Definitely weren't buying $400, but certainly was buying it when it was $180, $190. So I've been dollar cost averaging. So now I've got a position that maybe is down 30%, but I literally would love to add 200 or 300 more shares to Snowflake, but I have to be disciplined. I've already bought these price levels, so I will not buy again until it gets to the next price level. So for Snowflake, if I look at a chart and I do some technical analysis, some TA, let's say $110 is a possibility if the market keeps fading lower, and then you might have $100, you might have, and so on, and you're going to try to buy at those levels. Now, the risk of that is that you might not ever fill those levels. You might never get an opportunity to buy those levels. You can always buy higher later, or sometimes you just don't fill the position. Because if I'm looking to, say, fill Snowflake at 3% of my portfolio, if I get 2% and it runs higher, it's going to grow into 3% anyway. So those are high quality problems to have. You don't want to just chase a stock because trying to improve the cost basis. Be careful of trying to bail yourself out of a cost basis by just buying more and more and more. You have to be very disciplined with your blueprint, your portfolio of what you want to own. So you're going to look at your portfolio and say, I want 30% ETFs. I want 20% dividend stocks. I want 40% growth stocks. And then you're going to figure out what stocks go into that blueprint. What are the secular growth trends that I want to cover that cover, electric vehicles, semiconductors, cloud computing, whatever it is that you're into, metaverse. You're looking at all those secular growth trends. You're trying to find the individual stocks that can ride those waves, right? You're going to ride those waves and try to make money off those secular growth trends, those tailwinds, those secular tailwinds for these disruptive innovations or whatever it is that you're into. And the thing about it is, when is the best time to buy stocks in a bear market? For me, it's at levels, and be disciplined at those levels and try to use that blueprint, that plan, and accumulate. You're accumulating shares, you're accumulating wealth. Money is made in bear markets, not in bull markets. Trying to time a bottom, it's a fool's game. If you literally think you can time a bottom, go for it. But it's pretty hard. The problem is you're going to always want a lower low. that lower low is never going to come. You're never going to buy, and you're going to look back and say, I missed all the greatest opportunities. For me personally, I'd rather buy at levels. If it goes lower, buy a little bit more, buy a little bit more. That's what works for me. And I've done a great job this year getting my cost basis lower, accumulating shares in the high quality companies, the highest conviction companies. I've sold some stocks that I have less conviction. I've used that cash and I've flowed that cash into higher conviction stock picks. So I've gone from 100 plus positions to in the 60, 65 positions by basically condensing that conviction into, a smaller number of stocks and trying to focus on those stocks and get the best cost basis I can. So again, the best time to buy in a bear market is really up to you, but I think it's at levels and accumulating, doing your best to figure out where those stocks could bottom, but knowing you're never going to time it perfectly. You might buy a little bit higher than you want to. You might not time the bottom perfectly like you want to, but then you look back in a couple of years, you're going to be really happy with the cost basis that you have in those individual stocks. This video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. If you want to see the 10 best stocks to buy now, check out fool.com/firedupwealth. Please subscribe to the channel, click the like button, drop me a comment. Have a great day. Take care.